Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Endurance. This is a National Geographic documentary. It's an hour and 45 minutes long. It's from 2024. It's pretty new, and it follows two stories. One, it is the story of Sir Ernest. Ernest, I want to make sure it's I want to say Edward, but it's Sir Ernest Shackleton, and he is commanding the expedition of the ship Endurance to Antarctica to be the first people to do the first transcontinental crossing of that continent. So literally land in the Weddell Sea, dock somehow, and after getting through the ice, and then traveling physically all the way across the continent to come at the Ross Sea, I think, on the other side. So, yeah, it's an ambitious quest. It is temperatures below anything you can imagine, and it is crewed by a bunch of people he mostly picked for character more than actual skill at being crewmen on a ship. This is during World War I. As World War I was ramping up, these guys set out around in 1914 and headed from England all the way down to Antarctica and spent nearly 2 years on this trip. And let's just say the Endurance didn't make it back. That's the first story, but the other story is to find the Endurance. So this modern crew in the 2022, I believe, this is from 24, but 2022, this crew set out to find where the ship sank. And if you don't know the story, what's a question as to, did everybody go down with it? Did everybody die? Well, that's part of the story. There were some desperate times, some absolutely desperate times, and it's also kind of this beyond just telling of this adventure. You get to understand the character of Shackleton. He's kind of a legend, but at the same time, you get to see kind of a biographical take on who he really was as compared to what people saw him as. And I found that really interesting because he's such a character from everything I've heard, especially in this. They really pump up his character, and then you hear things historically that he was two different men in many cases. That he was there to try to prove something after so many failures in the past, and some people really wronged him at some points, and he took this adventure, this exploration, to prove everybody wrong. I mean, that's not the whole part of it. But it's also to do something that adventurers, explorers seem compelled to do. And with an actual hardy crew that weathered some just insane things, it's astounding that any of them survived. The reason why I'm spoiling that part of it is the fact that so much of this film, which is, by the way, directed with a kind of, and put together with a kind of style and intensity with the music and the dramatic images and everything else that they would normally reserve for like a nature documentary with lions or something attacking each other in the wilderness of Africa. This is, it follows as a documentary crew, the crew that heads out to find the ship, and intercuts it with historical references and recordings. Yes, when the Endurance took on this trip, they brought along not a camera crew. There had to be at least more than one, because you see them using the latest, hottest technology from 1914 on this crew, and you see actual footage of the crew, the ship, the ice everywhere, all of this stuff. It's you get to see stuff as it was filmed, but it's cleaned up. It's cleared up. In fact, yes, AI did have a little bit to do with it. Although I'm not sure how much the AI played into the cleaning up of the footage. But there is some bits that are a little bit colorized. I imagine back at that time, I mean, the motion pictures were still a very new thing, but you get some. I mean, some incredibly charming. I hate to just call it charming, but real footage from that era. Yes, there is some reproductive moments that are reproduced through here. It's kind of a mixture of a lot of different things, but you have real footage that's cleaned up and cleared up, and then you have reproduced scenes, and the voices you hear. There's recordings that were either taken from writings or actual physical audio recordings by the men who were there, the men who were on that ship. And AI was used to use their voices to say those words, when it was taken from print, from what I gathered. At the end, they explain all of the stuff that went into making this film possible, and it's compelling. I mean, it's a really good use. I know we complain a whole lot about AI and the certain technology that's used to create art rather than solve problems. We should be the ones creating art, but this is one of those instances where I don't mind where AI can help streamline the process to make good footage great and improve what we already have, just so that it's more understandable, digestible. I imagine the original recordings might have been really rough, kind of tinny, or just not really listenable. And so it's astounding. It feels like at times I was like, are they recording a guy? Just have a guy pretending to be this person, or or just reading his words? Well, there's a little bit of everything thrown in there from what I understand. And yes, I will spoil this because I can't talk much more about this without spoiling it. They do find the ship. It was on the news not too long ago, a couple years ago, but they do find the ship, and they take 3D laser scans of the entire thing, and it's in one piece. It's amazing. So something that's been there for more than 100 years, and you can still see the wheel and certain parts of the galley, and just there's the name Endurance emblazoned on the back, on the aft. That's what they call it, the aft, I believe. So yeah, there's that footage, that kind of footage is amazing, and it's a triumph. Even though the exploration of Antarctica, that original plan, failed due to ice being above all. You get stuck in the ice, it's taken you. You're done. If you're lucky to get off the ship in time, even if the ice doesn't seem to be moving, it's just creeping in on you. It's crushing the ship. If you're lucky to get off of there, part of this adventure for them, not by their choice, was just trying to trek across parts of Antarctica to get where they needed to go. And there are no cannibalism, but they did have to dig into man's best friend, a lot of them, in order to survive, because food was running low and there's only so many things you can eat. And it was heartbreaking for many of them to put down the sled dogs they were supposed to be using to travel across the continent. It's heartbreaking just to even think about this. And this is an era of which there was no one down there. There's tons of stations down there now. Tons, but there's a lot of stations down there from various different countries. We watched the documentary Continent 7 not too long ago, and that talked about everything that's going on down there. And but this is kind of the epic travel. There should be a movie out about this, even though I feel like James Cameron's going to be making this at some point if he hasn't already, and we just forgot about it with all the Avatar. I say I don't know if I can say recommend finding somebody who made a movie about this, because it could be an awful movie. I don't know. I would check the reviews if they do exist. But yeah, this is both. It's thrilling. It's emotional. It's for history buffs. I mean, understand that Shackleton, for some, I know that we don't even praise astronauts, but we love Han Solo. We love Captain Kirk. Well, maybe Captain Picard, but we love people talking about space. But we barely know the names of a single astronaut these days, or remember who walked on the moon. It's when we look at people who explore strange new worlds. This was a strange new world in reality. Shackleton and his crew did some astounding things on this trip, even if the actual thing failed. The fact that so many survived, and I won't spoil that part. The fact that they survived what should have taken them out long ago is astounding. I think he still saw himself as a failure. And this is a crew that was cut off from a world war at the time. They're down there walking around Antarctica while the world is beating itself up. And they get back, they clean themselves up, they shave off their really long, frozen, scraggly beards, and they sign up for the service to fight in that war. Yeah. So, yeah, I say this is the kind of thing that, for history nuts, of course, you may have heard plenty of stories, read books, whatever, about Shackleton's explorations, and this story would be nothing new to you. But I think what we get here adds a whole new layer that I think people who love this kind of history would really appreciate. And, this guy's a rock star. Back then, the point I was trying to make earlier is that back then, real people who were explorers and adventurers, people digging up stuffed mummies and things like that in Egypt and things like that, all those people are they're scientists, they're archaeologists, they're not Indiana Jones, but they're still rock stars. When most of the time, we can barely find a hero anywhere. We just look to the ones on the big screen, but yeah, we do with what we're given. But even if you don't know the story of Shackleton, this is a great way to discover it. But look into it, and I think you'd be surprised at what went into this thing. And also look up what's going on with the people who went to town with the latest technology. Without not a little bit of sacrifice to find this ship. And it is now, just so we're clear, it is protected, it has not been disturbed, and it will remain there for the rest of existence. So unless somebody decides to dig it up or something and bring it to the surface, which would be dumb and also super dangerous. It's nearly 10,000 feet underwater. We just watched The Abyss a little while ago, and at 2,000 feet, they were all freaking out back in 1989. Again, I don't know when the movie took place, but, still. 10,000 feet, yeah, nobody's going down there to swim around and poke at it or bring up pieces. The fact that we can do laser scan technology to see it as it is a beautiful thing. Go drones. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 163. 163. We're getting so close to episode 2000. Okay, well, this also falls into the red section, which is usually documentaries, but not all of them. Some are reality shows and some are live concert performances. That is what we're getting here, and it's so very Disney. So We're going to get, there's a few of these like this that take place at this iconic venue that I love so much. It's right here in LA. It's right here in Hollywood. And it is, if you're not from LA, I know that some people have opinions about LA or whatever. Yes, there's a lot of grit, there's a lot of grime, but there is absolute beauty to be found in LA, and nowhere better. There's very few places you could even think of that are better than the Hollywood Bowl to see have a picnic, see a concert of any type of music you can imagine. And I'd say if you ever come to LA, take the time, find a show that you might appreciate, and just take in the experience. It's astounding. So this time, though, we're going to go full on Disney with The Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl. So yeah, The Lion King. I may not know everything about Shackleton. The Lion King, I still don't know everything about, but I know enough to know that this should be a good show. The Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.